This video will walk you through the settings for a Moodle quiz. And to start, we'll need to turn editing on our Moodle page, add an activity, and find quiz, and click Add to go to the settings page. Through the magic of television, we've got a quiz that I've already prepared, so you can see what the settings will look like. The name is the name that appears on your course page. So I've just typed in quiz for video. The description is your description of the quiz. It's your directions to the students, like it's open book, open notebook, but you may not communicate with other members of the class. You can even put that on the course page itself before the students even click in to see it. Timing is where you set up when and for how long the students can take the quiz. In this case, I've set it up to open the quiz on Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Gambier time. It will close on the following Saturday at midnight. And at any point in that window, including 23:58, a minute before the quiz window closes, the student can start it and will receive 1 hour to take the quiz in. So that's how you define the window and the specific amount of time the student's allowed to take. There's an option for what happens when time expires. I would leave it at open attempts are submitted automatically. There are some other options, but I think they will result in confused and sad students calling you, and nobody needs that. Under grading, you can put this directly in a category if you've already set up categories in your gradebook. If not, well, that'll be another video. You can also determine how many attempts a student should get on a quiz. By default, it's only 1, but you can set anything between 1 and 10 or unlimited. And then if you do that, you can decide which grade you want, the highest or an average or the first or the last. Layout determines how often the student will see a new page on the quiz. It defaults to every question because every time a student changes pages, they also save their work. So we've left it at a new page every question to encourage the system to save the work frequently. Now that said, if you've got a longer quiz, a longer exam, it may make sense to do every 5 questions or even every 10 questions. I think if you scroll up to the 40s and 50, that would be a little risky. You can also edit this so some of your pages can be long, and then maybe the ones where students are writing essays might be quite short. Under question behavior, the important thing to be aware of is that by default, if you're asking multiple choice or matching questions, Moodle will shuffle them, so everybody doesn't have the same answer for A, B, C, and D. Now this does mean you can't do an all of the above question. You have to phrase your answers a little more carefully than that. Under deferred feedback, for most of you this isn't going to be relevant right now. Moodle has some interesting options for adaptive quizzing and different test-taking strategies, but for most people, deferred feedback is what they want. For review options, the one thing that most people will want to do is turn off these 2 options which allow the students to see their attempt and possibly the right answers after they have finished it, but while the quiz is still open for other students who might be taking it. Usually people will turn that off for academic integrity reasons, and then they will allow the students to review after everyone has to have taken the quiz. Appearance and extra restrictions are advanced. You probably don't need to worry about those. Overall feedback is an opportunity for you to give feedback based on the student's overall grade. So for example, we could say that if you get between 190, we say job. If you get between 80 and 90, we say good job, etc., etc. Common module settings restrict access. You probably don't need to worry about those. We can save and display and go into the quiz. Now, I do want to show you one thing. Since we talked about the quiz timing options, we get a lot of questions about how do I manage those for students who need extensions or exceptions or accommodations. And the first answer is that in the quiz administration area under user overrides, you can go in there, add a user override, We look up the student we're making a change for, and we can open the quiz earlier for Sandy. We can close it later for them if we know that the time window is a problem. If they get extra time, we can give them time and a half or double time. And then we save that, and we'll have an override that'll allow Sandy to be successful on the test. The other thing that we can do is we can go over to the participants list, the enrolled users list in the course. And we have set up an option over here where you can edit the student's role in the course and just look up no time limit. And we can say, okay, for this student, they're going to be in charge of monitoring their own time on Moodle quizzes. The rules, of course, still apply, but Moodle's not going to automatically enforce them. Some students like that because it means that they're not looking at a countdown clock on their exam page. Some faculty members like it. If you do a lot of quizzing, you may want something that you can set once and be done with instead of having to give an override every time. It's just an option that's available to you, and you can pick whichever one makes the most sense for you. When you're done, you do have to click the little disk icon. Remember disks? You click the disk icon to save changes. Thanks.